Hi all, welcome aboard Marji Bee. This is a bit of a departure from our usual sort of videos because whilst I'm in the middle of editing a few videos of our trip down to Abingdon, I thought it might be quite nice to show how we go up through a lock, because we had quite a lot of footage of us going up through Northmoor. So this is just going to be just a little bit of guidance tutorial of how we do it. And the first thing to note here is the blue board is up, the self-service board is up, so we're going to do this ourselves. So after we pull into the lock landing and get ropes ashore there, Petra heads up and opens the sluices on the lower gates. Now the lock was empty here, but you would open the sluices even if the lock is empty, just as you would as it's full, because it makes opening the gates easier, as water will flow through the sluices as you start to open the gates. And note that the sluices are operated by a wheel on each lock gate with two posts sticking out the top of it. If the white post is up, the sluices are closed. If the red post is up, the sluices are open. And as Petra is opening the gates, I will start to take the lines off, get the engine started, ready to gently take Marji Bee into the lock when the lock gates are fully open. I'd just like to take this opportunity to say that as I edit this, we are a whisker away from 500 subscribers, which is amazing. So if you want to see some more of our adventures and videos, please do subscribe to help us hit that milestone, and hit the like button if you like the videos. My approach to navigating our way into a lock in Marji Bee is to take it nice and slowly. We'll just get enough movement to have steerage, and then I'll be knocking her back into neutral and just give a little toot of throttle if we need it to. And then here you can see I'm just leaning on the reverse gear lever there, just to bring her to a halt. And in the case of a Freeman, what I did there was use the prop walk to my advantage, because I know that when she's in reverse, the stern of the boat will pull slightly to the starboard, so in towards that lock wall there when she's in reverse. So if I get the choice, I'll always moor on the starboard side of a lock to use that to my advantage. So here Petra is, she's taken the bow line off, popped it over a bollard and passed it back to me, and I've turned the engine off. It's one of those rules on the Thames that once you're in a lock, you turn your engine off. And I get the really difficult job here now. I just sit down and hold onto the lines while Petra runs around and closes the lock gates. Now, there are poles and hooks on the lock gates that you can pull the opposite lock gate closed or push it open. Petra tends to do the walking around over the other lock gates to get round to the other side to do the gate itself rather than use the poles. But if you get the opportunity, have a go with the poles. So that's the lock gates closed there, and although I didn't get the footage, Petra then closed the sluices so that shuts off the lower gates. And now she's headed up to the top gates and is opening the sluice, or the first sluice. And what she would always do is open the sluice on the side that we're moored first, if we're the only boat in there. That's so that it sends the water across the lock and will help to keep Marji Bee against the lock wall. If you open the other sluice, the water would be pushed across the lock and run between Marji Bee and the lock wall that we're moored to, and try to push her out of it. That effect would be more pronounced if we were closer to the lock gates, but as I've moored quite far back down the lock, it's not really going to affect us there. So she's opened the first sluice up halfway, and then gone and opened up the other sluice, and is back to the first sluice to open that up all the way as well now. I think if you were closer to the lock gates or had a full lock, you would keep them just half open both until the lock was half full. Then you could open them up fully just to keep the turbulence down a bit as well. And then it's just a matter of waiting, sitting and waiting until the lock is full and the water level is as equalised inside and outside the lock, enabling the lock gates to be open. Again, keep the sluices open when you're opening the top gates, because that on that initial movement of the gates, it allows the water to flow through the sluice, and means that the lock gate will open easier. So as Petra's getting to the end of opening the lock gates, I'll be starting the engine up and flicking the ropes off the bollards to gently move her out. And I was actually having a little bit of difficulty flicking the rope off the front bollard, so Petra just pop down to help me out. And there we go, all good to go now. So now we're good to go. I will gently take Marji Bee out of the lock and pull over onto the upper lock landing and wait for Petra to sort the lock out. Now, you should never just leave a lock with lock gates open. You should always close the lock gates, close the sluices at the top end, but also it's a Thames rule that you leave the locks empty. So what Petra's going to be doing now is she's closing the top lock gates behind me. Then she'll be closing those sluices. Then we'll go down to the lower gates and open the sluices so that the lock will empty. I think the idea is essentially that an empty lock, it will help slow the build-up of algae on the lock walls, because it's not submerged in the water. Obviously, if there's another boat on the way that you see is coming downstream when you're coming out, you don't go and empty the lock. You would leave the lock gates open and hand over to the other boat. So as the lock is emptying, once all the gates are closed and the bottom sluices are open, we're good to go. So we'll then Petra will then get back on board and we will head on our way upriver. In this case, we're heading back up towards Upper Lock. Yeah. So I hope you found that little trip up through Northmoor Lock interesting. If you're heading up onto the Upper Thames and haven't used the locks before, I hope this is will be a little bit of a help for you. But if you do like it, if you like what we've done here, please do give this video a like. It helps us out, and consider subscribing. But all that's left to me to say is I am editing a few videos of our trip to Abingdon, which will be coming out very shortly.